Hey.
Hey, my sisters.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, my sisters.
Afternoon.
We got some new sisters in the house today.
Yes, Linda, yes.
We got our guest sister. This is 4SistersLIVE. This is your health and wellness Saturday, and I hope and pray that everyone is healthy and also wealthy right now. Yeah, and got plenty of that wellness. Sharon, how are you doing? And Kathy, how are you doing? So glad to see you.
Great. I'm doing fine. Hey, Sharon, you're on mute, hon.
You're on mute.
Yeah, you're on mute. Gotta look out for my soror. Okay.
That's right. They got that red on the day.
Thank you. I'm super fantastic. How's everyone else?
We are doing absolutely great. Peggy, how you doing today?
Doing well.
All right. Well, our sisters Charlene and Sister Wyoming, they're on travel today. So we have Kathy and we have Sharon sitting in for us today. So it's going to be an awesome show as usual.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's going on in the neighborhoods? Peggy, what's going on in your life today?
Oh, my goodness.
I know you're the busiest of all. So we already know. There's something is going on.
I want to share because it's not Black History Month, but it's actually history in the making. I had the opportunity to go to Annapolis for the swearing in for two of our sisters that's going to be representing us in Annapolis.
Wonderful.
I am so proud of them. It's Jamila Woods, and who is representing District 26.
Yeah.
And there is Kim, and Kim's name has just went past me. I can't even think of her last name.
Right.
But she's representing my district, District 24. And just to be in the mix of what was going on in Annapolis, I'm not quite sure if Dante received the pictures. Oh, there we go. Here's some pictures of us in Annapolis.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
Yes.
To our sisters in there who are out there in the politics.
Yes.
Protecting us and, making sure that we are represented. And I'm so proud of our sisters.
Yes. I got quite a few. So hold on a second. Let's go through. Go ahead, Dante.
Go
to the next one.
Go through it fast now.
Go ahead. This is Kim, who is representing District 24. Go to the next one. Dante, you can go to the next one. Okay. All right. Oh, there we go. This is the delegation right here from Prince George's County.
Wow.
Our Sisters for Sisters Network in the house.
We're going down to represent. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Let's go to the next one, Dante. Next. Okay, he must be loading them up.
Oh, okay. But it takes time to load.
I just want to
that's a good glimpse of what's happening. That's what we need to know.
Yeah.
And we know that everyone in Prince George's County that's in our organization, we're represented.
Yes.
Awesome.
And you know what? It was a history fact in the makings because we had a chance to visit. Guess who we saw down there?
Who?
Russell Moore?
Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass.
Okay. All right.
Oh, my goodness.
Wonderful.
Hey. You know what? I learned a few things about Harriet Tubman. There was a statue, and I wanted Dante to show the picture. But this is what they said.
There it is.
Okay, this is Harriet Tubman. Okay.
Oh, beautiful.
And this is a beautiful piece that we need to take our kids to Annapolis to see.
Yes. I want to see it myself. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I definitely want to go and see it. That
beautiful,
is awesome.
beautiful.
That is
There's a picture of Frederick Douglass as well. And this is what I found out. So you gotta be in the midst. You gotta be in the room to learn this information. And it said that the hands from the sculpture, the hand of the sculpture of the life's cast from those of the great grandson of Frederick Douglass. His name was Ken Morris Jr. So I came back and I told my husband, I said, you know what? We might be related, or you on your family line might be connected to Frederick Douglass.
Never know.
Doing some research.
Okay, wonderful. Do the research. Do your DNA. Go ahead and do your DNA.
So you never know. We might be in
right.
the making.
You never know. We might have a new history moment.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I wanted to share that, and that was my experience for the week.
Thank you
Wow,
so
that's
much.
awesome.
Sharon, what's happening with you? We know this is a special week for you.
Yes, I just celebrated my 69th birth
Woo!
year. Thank
Yeah.
you. Chapter 69 begins, and I'm excited.
You don't have my
And
horn.
thank you, thank you. And it's also the birthday of my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta, which
All
we
right.
celebrated Founders Day yesterday. So I'm really
Wonderful.
excited and
Beautiful.
represented with my deep Delta earrings.
All
There you
right.
go, there you go, soror.
All right, you
Yay.
sorors.
A special shout out to all my sorors out there.
Special shout out. That is awesome. Okay,
Beautiful,
Kathy,
beautiful.
what's going on with you?
Well, I tell you, I'm so busy, you guys.
I
Since
know.
I've been, I've been acting, so gosh, things are so great. I'm in about 4 movies coming up, and it's just the beginning of the year, so I'm so excited about that. And I'm
Wonderful.
already going to be involved in a project coming up for 2024. It's going to be like an animation on the same lines as a Black Panther. So really excited about that. And then in April, I'm going to receive an award for being one of the top 10 actresses in the DMV. So
That is
Oh, you
things
are
are
blowing
good.
up. Okay,
Yes.
y'all, we gotta get those
Congratulations.
autographs now.
Yes,
She'll probably
yes.
be too busy for us
That is
soon.
so awesome.
Hey, Kathy,
Don't-
I'll come
Congratulations,
over.
Kathy.
I'll come over and get mine early, okay? I'll get my
Okay.
autograph
But,
early.
but
Yeah, we all
I
need
just
to.
want to tell everybody that believe me, a dream
Yeah.
delayed is not a dream denied. Okay.
How
I'm
about
just letting
that?
you know because I started doing this 5 years ago and it's taken me places
Wow.
I never thought I'd go. And I'm just
That
so
is
happy about
That's
it.
awesome.
amazing.
Congratulations.
That's so encouraging.
That
Yeah.
is so
Oh
encouraging.
my
And
God.
no matter what age, because
Yes.
hey, I'm one of them seniors. So hey,
Yeah.
Hey,
still
I'm one of
we
those as
we are
well.
the seniors that are we're like the that little bunny keeps going and going and going. We're not gonna stop. We're gonna
That's
No.
keep our
right.
health and we're gonna keep our strength and we're gonna keep on moving. And we want to be great
Absolutely.
examples for our children because
Yeah. And
we can
yeah,
do
but
that.
we also going to make sure we look good doing it. Okay.
How
Okay.
about
We're gonna
that?
make
Go ahead,
sure
Kathy.
we'll sport our sexy 60s
Love
and
it.
70s. Okay.
That's right.
Hey.
That's
Okay.
right.
Hey,
All
Linda.
right. Yes,
Linda,
dear.
let's take a moment and do a shout out to the sisters that are showing up today. I see Rona Russell McKnight. Thank you,
Oh,
Rona.
yeah.
Hey, Rona.
Terry
Hey,
Tabor.
Rona.
Hey, Terry.
Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Lakey. Hey, Lake.
Blakey.
Got
Lakey.
Lakey in the house.
Yes.
Lacey Lace. Hi, that is friends of Kathy Muhammad. How you doing, Lacey?
Okay.
Yes, she's an actress too. My girl, Lacey.
Yes.
Yes.
We got Danetta Morning.
Yay,
Who
Danetta.
else we have here? We got Cynthia Kelly hanging out with us, working in behind the scenes.
Okay.
So we just want to give a shout out to our sisters that are showing up and
Yes.
supporting.
And we
Yes.
want to tell all our sisters to share, and call up somebody if you can, just in case they're not on, and just let them know that this is Health and Wellness Saturday, and Dr. Lane Rowling, our virologist, will be in the house to bring us up to date on what's going on with the viruses and everything else that's going on that he knows that we need to know. So tell your family and your friends to tune in on YouTube as well. We're on Facebook and we're on YouTube. 4Sisters Live. Okay, moving right along, Peggy. We're going to go into our birthdays.
Yeah, we have had one of the birthday ladies are right here.
We have one birthday girl right now. Okay.
Yay. Happy birthday.
Yes,
Yay.
indeed.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Um,
birthday.
Yes.
And I
And
want to give a shout out to my son. My son Aaron is going to be celebrating his birthday on actually Martin Luther King's birthday, January the 15th.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I am so proud of my son, and he is doing well. My sister Jeannie is celebrating her birthday on the 21st.
Okay.
My nephew is on the 16th. My niece just celebrated hers on the 5th. So it's been very hot in the month of January.
Okay.
Yeah, both my son's birthdays in January. Rashad's was the 9th and Waleed's is the 29th. Yay.
Okay.
Awesome.
And
Let me give a shout out to Lori Sausch, who celebrated her birthday on the 2nd. Valerie
Okay.
Filson
Lord.
on the 6th,
Okay.
Sharon Bullock on the 10th, Constance New Wu is the 11th, my sister Jeannie Bell the 21st, Terry Tabor on the 25th, and
All
Betty
right.
Seltzer on the 26th. Well, happy birthday, guys.
All the birthdays. Happy birthday to everyone.
Yes.
All right.
The
Well, we're going
Capricorns
to
and
go right
Aquarians.
on into our hot picks. What's going on? Anything going on we need to know, Peggy?
Well, I think we're going to have Florence on today to talk about
Oh,
her
yeah.
upcoming event. So that's going to be our focus today, is to talk about the Open Heart Foundation upcoming gala.
Okay, and that's about it. So in that case, maybe we're just going to bring
Florence.
let's bring Florence on in. Yeah.
Yay. Hey, Florence.
Hey, Florence.
Hello.
Florence.
Good afternoon, Florence. How are you today?
Hello, everyone, my beautiful sisters.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for having me.
so glad to
Awesome,
have
awesome,
you. You know,
awesome.
you're part of the health and wellness team. So I just wanted to make sure that you're on and let us know what's going on in our heart. You know, the heart is the most important organ in the body. Okay. So what's going on, and let us know about your organization.
Well, February is coming up. It's just around the corner. February is National Heart Awareness Month. And in recognition of National Heart Awareness Month, the Open My Heart Foundation, my foundation, which I founded in 2015, is having our 8th annual fundraiser called the Red Dress Gala Awards, where we honor heart and stroke survivors and those who are making a difference in the heart health community. So we are now working with local hospitals, and our goal is to raise $30,000. And we're working to give financial support to heart patients in need of assistance. So this is a big deal. We're having a 2-day event this year. So the first day will be on Friday, February 17th, and it's called Health Equity Now, a symposium on closing the gap. And it'll be co-hosted by myself and Rhonda Monroe, who is also a heart survivor and a health advocate. And we'll hear from expert panelists on the historical injustices of in health and in heart health, social determinants of health, and in our community, and healthcare access, and what we could do about it. So that's a big deal this year that we're hosting, and we're working with a local hospital to host it there. And we are having, on day 2 is our signature event, the Red Dress Gala Awards, where we honor.
Lord, yay.
We love that event. Yes.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
Well,
And that's where we honor we call them survivors that thrive. They
Yeah.
are not only survivors, they are giving back in the heart health community. To look at them, you would not think that they've been through what they've been through, because they are thriving. So, and then we're also honoring some community leaders with Excellence in Leadership Award that are giving back to the heart health community. And lastly, we are so excited. I've been trying to get her for a couple of years. We're having award-winning soloist, Mesa.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh,
Awesome.
Mesa. Yes.
Is Mesa from Baltimore? Is it my understanding?
Yes.
She's
yes.
from Baltimore. Yes.
Yes, she is. Yes, she
Right.
is. Yes.
local talent. Awesome.
Well, Florence, that's an awesome event. We know we attended every year.
Every
We've
year.
even done it. We've done it on Zoom. It
Zoom.
must
Yeah.
go on. So, and
Yeah.
especially, we love the fact that you do so much giving to the community. We
Yeah,
look
you
forward
do.
to your health and wellness fair that you've given tons of food to the community, and continually educating us on all types of conditions. And we look forward to that. Pray thee that everything goes well for this year, everything that we've always done that we can do again this year, because I look forward to that. That's, when we have everyone out and we can all work together. But the gala, you don't want to miss the gala. And give us the information just verbally for those who are listening.
Sure,
How to
sure.
get tickets for this event, because that is coming up soon.
They can just go to our website at www.openmyheartfoundation.org.
Repeat that for us one more time.
www. All one word, Open My Heart Foundation.
Yes, thank you so much. And
.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss that event. It is the who's who, and everyone is dressing in their formal red and semi-formal red, and it's just a beautiful event. And we thank you so much, sis, for keeping us informed of what's going on. Give us that date again, so make sure we don't forget the date.
It's a 2-day event.
2 days.
February 17th, which is the Heart Health Symposium on Equity.
Right.
And the second day is February 18th at Martin's Crosswinds, where we have our signature event, the Red Dress Gala Awards.
All right.
Hey, Dawn, can I ask a question? Is the 17th, is that a Zoom or is it in person?
It is going to be in person. So we are actually working with a local hospital. We have not signed the ink yet, but we are working very closely towards that. But we will let everyone know. But you do need to register, and once you go to the website, you'll see how to register for both events. Or if you just want to come to one, let's say if you just want to come to the health symposium, you can do that as well.
Okay, good.
Yes, it is a free event. And let me just say, heart disease is the number one killer, even in this COVID environment. One out of every 4 dies of heart disease. Someone mentioned Lisa Presley, who recently died on Thursday due to a cardiac arrest. And it does not matter what age you are. And one of the things that we are advocating for is early detection. Just like early detection in breast cancer, there needs to be early detection in heart disease screenings. So one of the health fairs that we had, we partnered with Doctors Community Hospital, and now it's called Luminous Healthcare Systems. And they actually came out and they did cardiac screenings, free cardiac screenings on the spot. We need to do that more regularly.
Yes.
So we can have some type of early detection.
We should insist, tell our doctors, because I know I've had that problem. I had coronary artery disease, and I didn't find out until I had to insist. I had to actually change from HMO to a HPO. I want, so I can go to any doctor I wanted, because they wouldn't give me the test when I wanted it, but because I was feeling that something was wrong. So we have to be proactive. And making sure that if your doctor doesn't do what you asked them to do, go to another doctor, find another way, because if you know your body, so don't ever let them tell you, well, we're going to wait until. No, I don't want to wait until something else happens. I want to know now.
It's a lot. You said a mouthful, Lisa, because a lot has to do with insurance.
Yes,
and what they will cover.
That's right.
And so this is one of the most expensive diseases. That's why we're talking about it.
Yes.
As far as equity, why is there not equity in treatment? Because it's an expensive disease. Let's talk about money. That's what it comes down to. The average cost of open heart surgery bypass, which is what I had, is upwards of $120,000. Out of that, my copay may be around $40,000.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Right. That's right. I remember my copay was extremely, just for having a stent put in. So yes, we have to go as early, and watch your diet, ladies and gentlemen, stop clogging up our arteries. That's what's one of the sides of, that's one thing that we're doing to ourselves. So
Right.
what's what you're
But
eating,
early
the early
detection.
you do it. Yes.
The early detection is key because we all are walking around with a certain amount of
Clogged arteries.
clogged arteries or
Mhm.
cholesterol that
Cholesterol.
builds up and it
Mhm.
becomes like plaque really hard in our arteries.
And they
So you may
they
be
close up.
you may be at 30% clogged, you may be at 40%, you may be at 80% clogged. You need to know that.
You need to know.
Okay.
Hey, Florence, can I ask a question? So there is a test that can monitor to tell you exactly the percentage of plaque that is in your heart, or what type of screening is available for that?
It's
The treadmill
it's
is one.
different types of
It's
screening.
one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they can do a stress test. And
Yes.
when they came out to us, there's a test. It's almost like a sonogram where they rub it on your neck to see if there's blockage. And we had that at our health fair.
Yeah, we did have it. Yeah.
There's another more invasive test called cardiac catheterization. And that's what I had to see if there was any blockage. But these tests are costly, and you really have to talk to your healthcare provider and say, hey, you know what? Is there a test that I can take to see if everything is okay with my arteries?
Yeah.
Right.
So just talk to your healthcare provider and let them determine the best test that you can take. And we are advocating for, and we're going to have to go to some of our lawmakers to make it more standard to have these screenings, just like it is with breast cancer screening.
Yes. Yes.
There needs,
Totally
if heart
agree.
disease is the number one killer, and if African Americans are dying the most from heart disease, doesn't it make sense to have some kind of standardized screening on a regular basis? We need to hear about this and why this is there.
But Florence, you had a good point, because that's the reason why now we got representation down in Annapolis. Okay. That's why we got Jamela down there, and that's why we got Kim down there, along with these other female women, women who understand the challenges that we're having with health. Okay, so we are definitely going to be working with these women down in Annapolis so that they can change these policies and laws that is going on the books.
Absolutely.
That we really need to take a look at.
And
it would also be nice if we could have some type of preventive list of like foods that are that we should avoid, or foods that will help the heart. There's so many simple things that we can do, just like drinking something warm after a meal versus cold, because we're so used to having that ice cold drink after we eat. That literally actually does clog your pores.
It does.
So
drink
really,
tea. It's
like
have that hot tea or
warm,
hot
like tea or soup after your meal, instead
just
of
warm
something
water.
cold. And to drink your water at room temperature. So there are a lot of things that you can do.
Things we can do.
But I was going to say, but I think also it should be a part of our annual physical checkup. That should just be a part of the checkup. Just like we have.
And that it wasn't at the time that I tried to get one, and I knew a friend of mine said she was having one at each one of hers, so I couldn't understand why I couldn't have one at mine. So that's why I just changed, so I could have control. So
that should be a part of it.
It should be a part, especially in the environment and the community that we are in. Yes.
Amen.
Well, thank you so much,
hereditary as well.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Florence, for giving us this information, and we look forward to the update. For our next couple of shows before the event. Everyone, please go and get your tickets and pass the word for us.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you, Florence.
Thanks, Florence.
You're welcome.
I got my ticket. Ready to go.
I'm getting my ticket.
That ticket. In the house. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was Dante. I don't know, is our doctor in the house yet? Is Dr. Lane in the house?
Yeah, I am.
Yes, she is. How you
Hi.
doing?
How are you?
We have Dr. Lane Rowling, medical doctor. He's our virologist. He is the man who let us know what we need to do for 2023. How have you been?
Hi, Dr. Lane.
Morning, everybody. Super fantastic. Happy New Year to all you beautiful ladies and stuff, and to your listening audience also.
Wonderful.
Thank
So
you.
good to see
Happy New
you.
Year to you too.
Yes, welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, Dr. Lane, what is it that you need to tell us? We want to know. Of course, our questions are, we know you told us that COVID would be here for a while, and you did not lie. They kept saying it was going to go away. And we know that it is still here. And we
Right.
need, along with some other conditions that have popped up and are ongoing, and you being our in-house virologist, we know that you know what's going on. So please let us know what's going on.
Like I say, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, beautiful ladies, and to your audience, especially your platform that you have. And I think this year, 2023, is going to be a significant year because I think we've already had a preview for the last 3 years in this pandemic situation. Now you folks really understand that this pandemic is a serious, problem that we're going to have for the next 100 years. In fact, I'm considering this is a new pandemic because of what's happening in China. I think it's important for your audience and to everybody out there to make sure that they're not being complacent and thinking that the COVID situation has disappeared. Now, over the last week or so, now you're seeing the White House starting to talk about emergency protocols for the new COVID resurgence and stuff. And we're seeing all these new cases around the country, hospitalization, not just of COVID, but of RSV and other diseases and influenza. So this is like a pandemic type of infection that we have to worry about. And at the end of the day, like we've talked about before, how do we navigate to get to the other side? It's going to be on our basic biosafety security protocols for ourselves, i.e., learning how to wear it and understanding when to wear a mask in a situation where you have a lot of people, i.e., getting on an airplane, i.e., getting on a train, any situation that you think in your mind that there's a potential of you being exposed at Walmart or a store, that is a place where you need to take your security very important, i.e., wearing a mask, making sure that if you're touching a cart at a store that you're sanitizing your hand. And in particular, if you have to use the bathroom in these public spaces, then make sure that you bring the products and the technology to make sure you can navigate to that bathroom, because now we know that, like I've said before, the bathroom and feces is probably the number one transmitter of this particular virus around the world. And that's just, and you ladies know what women bathroom looks like. They're very nasty on the most part. Women go in there, they do their business, and you guys know what I'm talking about. And so that's a place that you need to make sure that you protect yourself, in particular the bottom of your shoes when you're in the bathroom, like at Chicago here at Airport or Dulles or Reagan Airport. You need to make sure you're doing the right things that we've talked about over the last 2 years and stuff, and realize that we're still in the beginning of this new pandemic driven by what's happened in China. And the reality is that China is a prelude to what's going to happen here in the United States over the next month. We have a million cases, hundreds of thousands of people dying. Crematoriums are full. It's catastrophic. And now at this point of the pandemic, the Chinese government are letting their people travel. And this is how the pandemic started back in 2019, during the holidays, where people left China and spread the disease, the virus all over the world. And it's the same thing again. And now you can look at the news and see, well, we're requiring people from China to have a COVID negative test. Well, in my opinion, that's not enough, because they can catch somebody in the middle of the infection, the beginning of infection, or the end of infection that is really positive, but they're testing negative. So these people still need to understand that this COVID situation is still a game changer. I would also like to add the fact that we need to start thinking about diseases that have already been here, i.e. HIV. And as the scientific officer for the Black AIDS Institute, which is the largest AIDS advocacy group in the world for African Americans with HIV, we're seeing a resurgence of HIV at the levels that we saw many, many years ago. In fact, it's happening now that we're seeing Black males have surpassed white gay males as the number one source of the HIV infection in the United States. And behind that, Black women are coming up, being infected from the secondary consequences. So the young females out there, if you're dating, you need to make sure you understand your partner that you're having your relationship with, because that is the greatest threat to the Black women, in my opinion, when it comes to HIV, is guys coming out of prison, guys that are bisexual and having relationships with, the heterosexual females and affecting them. So it's very important that we understand that, and also understanding that our basic health diseases are still there. You guys were talking earlier about cardiovascular disease. Absolutely. Probably 90% of Americans have some type of heart disease, be it just because of our diet, especially in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. So that's why it's very important that you need to do the cardiology screening, i.e. getting an angiogram, heart stress test, making sure that you're going to see your internal medicine, your cardiovascular doctor, and taking your statin medication, because God forbid you're having a sudden cardiac infarct because you have high cholesterol. That's something that can be prevented with diet and all that good stuff. So we still have a long ways to go in this world of diseases itself, not just the infectious disease part, but also our regular old disease that we deal with every day.
Oh wow, you have said a mouthful, and that
yes,
so we know
that was amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah, so can you tell us, Dr. Lane, are there certain areas in I know in the United States that have more cases of the virus that's continued? You know, how is it East Coast, West Coast, or is it about equal now, or do you see a turn of people, really getting vaccinated and doing what they're supposed to do? I know I go to the store and I'm still wiping off the handles, and I'm still washing bringing my groceries in, and I'm wiping them off. And I know these are the things you told us to do, and these are things I'll continue to do. But there's certain areas that we need to warn our families and friends.
Well, I mean, the reality is any high density population is going to be your source of infection big time. California's always been the hot zone. New York City's a hot zone. Washington, D.C. is a hot zone. Atlanta, Chicago, wherever we have Houston, place that we have a great amount of people, Chicago, you're going to have the potential of being infected. That's what we're seeing the greatest increase of cases and stuff. Even the city of Las Vegas, where it's a cosmo of the world population coming there. If you go in January, you need to be very careful using in January and February, because that's when the Chinese people come to Las Vegas to gamble, and they're bringing COVID to the United States, and that's just a reality. So you folks need to understand that any situation that's had high population of folks, need to be worrying about that or protecting your family members. And if you do have family members that come down with the COVID virus themselves, you need to make sure you protect yourself, because the one thing that we know for a fact, and is being published now in scientific magazine, is that the vaccine does not have any effect on these new variants. That's just a fact. In fact, these are causing people to have strokes or heart problems. That's a fact. But the reality is, like we talked about 2 years, the science will always catch up with the reality on the ground, and you can't keep spinning it and spinning the situation to give your particular belief a positive result. The reality is that people are still getting sick, people are still dying from the SARS-CoV virus. We're still learning about vaccines, etc. And the reality is that if you individuals out there have a pretty good healthy lifestyle, i.e. you're doing all the proper things, controlling your diabetes, your weight, etc., making sure you have a healthy attitude, your immune system is strengthened and good, you should have no problem with SARS-CoV virus, because your natural immunity, like all other diseases before COVID, after the COVID, and in the next 100 years, your natural immunity should guide you to the other side with a healthy outcome.
Yeah, ladies, do you have any questions for Dr. Lane?
Yeah, I do.
I'm sorry, Peg. Go ahead.
Okay, Dr. Lane, let's talk about, or take a moment, talk about the surge that we're going to see as a result of Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year?
Well, we're starting to see that now. These are what we always have talked about before, and I've talked about this on MSNBCs and some of the programs I've been on, is that these are super spreader events. And make no bones about it, they play in the national college football games. These football games have spread the virus around the country. That is the reality. These are super spreader events and stuff. We understand that folks want to get back to a normal lifestyle that we had 4 years ago. That day is over. Any place you're going to be where there's a lot of people, you have the potential to be infected, and everybody has a different outcome. Nobody fits in the same algorithm. Maybe I get the virus and I have maybe just a loss of taste, or maybe I get the virus and I end up with full pulmonary complications and cardiovascular arrest, and I'm the one of the guys that end up dying from the virus. So everybody's different. So you have to make sure that you protect yourself. And like Big Mama said a long time ago, a cup of coffee will always make your problems go away. And she was right. You have to be sure that you're doing your basic biosafety for yourself. Wash your hands, making sure that you sterilize the environment you're in particular, when you're using the bathroom at home and you have somebody that's infected, you flush that toilet, that virus, fecal matter gets spread all over your bathroom. That is the reason why you have toilet seats. Something simple like that. Big Mama, what she was talking about, wash your hands. The solution to pollution is dilution, which means you survive.
That is so true.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. And Dr. Robin, in terms of the mask situation, because it's like, okay, they used to say that the person that you're in front of have to have on a mask, and you have to have on a mask in order for you to be protected. Do I have protection if I'm the only one wearing the mask? I work around a lot of kids, and they're the biggest germ spreaders. So am I protected by just wearing a mask myself if they do not have on a mask?
I think it's a two-way street. We've talked about this before on a national level, and I've talked about this for the some of the big programs I've done. The UK, London, is that the reality is that when it comes to children can also be the super spreader of infections too. And that was proven in Sweden and Denmark. So that's why it's very important for you as an individual that is in that environment dealing with children on a regular basis. You don't know what their house environment is, what their environment is on the school bus. These children can be a potential threat for you, not just the other way around where the teacher can be a threat to the student. I think it's prudent for you to continue to wear a mask if you're in that type of situation. You have to understand, folks, is that the program that we've created in the United States has been a complete failure. And the reality is that we already knew that, because if you're going to do a vaccine program, if you're one of these folks that believe in the vaccine, you have to vaccinate everybody from the baby on to the 85-year-old grandmother, because that individual baby can still be the source of infection. You have to have 100% coverage. That is what we call herd immunity, and we never reached that. We would never reach that because there is no vaccine really for children. So children can be and will be still the source of infection. So if you have a mask, that mask doesn't only protect you, but it also protects the student. And you have to realize that if the mask is on and you're wearing it properly, it prevents you from getting what that famous word we like to use called a high viral load, i.e. somebody coughs or a child is sick in your classroom, they cough, you have your mask on, you might get 1% of the virus, which might not be enough to cause you to have an infection versus getting 100% infection by breathing in viruses on that. And then also your mask that you have to make sure that you're replacing that mask on a regular basis. Now we've done the studies that masks themselves can be the source of infection too, not just from viruses, from bacteria and also from funguses. i.e. you breathe into your mask in your mouth, and people don't realize that your mouth is a significant source of infection. You have bacteria in that mask inside of. And also the opposite is that when you're out in the environment, that mask is doing its job by filtering viruses and bacteria. We find viruses, bacteria, and fungus outside the mask. So the mask that you have to have is a mask that is very durable. It has the ability to do what it says it's going to do, has the ability to inhibit viruses, bacteria, and fungus, and also is being used. If not, making sure that you guys go out here and get masks that you can use every day, because a new mask will save your life.
Oh,
wow.
Well, I have a question. You know, I understand that all masks aren't created equal. So is there a specific type of mask that we should get that could protect us as opposed to another type?
Well, one of the masks that we've always talked about in Topeka is the antiviral mask, which is we have a significant supply. Some of the masks that were in the game have gone away because there was no threat anymore. The mask that you need is get an antiviral mask, and what you can do is go to our website, TopedaBiosecurity.com, take a look at the mask, read the specification on the mask, and maybe that might be the mask. Because one thing, our mask that we have is antiviral, and you can wash that mask up to 30 times, which gives you longevity, and it still has the ability to do what it needs to do. But each mask is different. I think the most important thing is that mask that you do have has to be a mask that can accommodate you, your family members, is comfortable, and you can able to use that mask. And you should always, one of you folks and all your listeners should always have a mask in your purse, your backpack, because you don't know what the situation is. You might, hey, I want to run to the mall. And you guys found out what happened during Christmas time. The malls were packed, thousands and thousands of people, thousands and thousands of super spreader events.
Well, you know, people are getting back now, you know, like you were saying, they're trying to get back to their lives. And some people are taking vacations, particularly cruises. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, cruise has always been the super spreader event. That's the reality, and that's a fact. You know, they spread the disease around the world. And this shows you, again, we talked about the cruise ship is a petri dish. And you guys have to understand how significant this virus is. It tells you if you are getting on a cruise ship and you have all these rules and regulations, i.e., you have a negative COVID test to get on the cruise ship. You have to have this and that. And people are still having outbreaks of COVID on a cruise ship with vaccinated people. That tells you the significance of the virus. And so cruise ships, you're really playing Russian roulette in your situation and being affected, or someone in your loved one being affected. And as this virus picks up steam over the next 2 months, do not be surprised if you're on a cruise ship and you get quarantined and you're not going to be allowed back in the United States like we did for part of the pandemic. So you need to make sure you understand what the cruise ship policy is. What is the situation? What port embarkations you guys are going to, i.e., are you stopping in Ensenada, Mexico? Are you stopping in Thailand and they have no COVID policy, and you're on a boat full of Chinese people? You're going to have a very high chance of getting infected. So you need to make sure you're aware of that situation.
Wow.
Thank you so much. And I want you to repeat slowly, Dr. Rowling, the information as far as your mask. The mask, what's the website that we can go to?
www.topedabiosecurity.com. And let me spell this in the chat.
Okay.
For you. Let me see that. I don't know if you guys already have it. Let me just do this. Try to type this.
Okay.
Give me a sec. I'm typing in there now. Let me go back.
I tell you, every time.
This is helpful information. Oh my goodness.
Heavy.
Woo. It's scary though.
Yeah, it is scary.
Well, you know, we know that Dr. Rowling's going to tell us the truth, and that's what's so important, because you know we don't hear a lot of it on the news, and they're just brushing over it and giving numbers.
Very likely
to know more. Dr. Rowling, I'd like to ask: are you writing a book this year?
Yeah,
a new book, and I'm looking for it. I'm waiting on it.
Two big things are happening. One, that what we have done is that we are the Black AIDS Institute. We've started a course called HIV/AIDS at the historical Black colleges, and our schools that we're starting this at is Jarvis University out of Hawkins, Texas, and Voorhees out of South Carolina. Will be our first two historical Black colleges where we'll be teaching the AIDS course, HIV, 3 credit hours, because we have to get that information to younger folks and getting people more interested in understanding HIV, how it affects African Americans, and also getting people that are interested in providing that education of people. So that's a huge thing. And then I will be doing a 10-part documentary medical program on TNT over 6 months on different subjects from cardiology, infectious diseases and stuff, so people can get some good information on that, as it was called Coffee with Dr. Rowling. So I look forward to that program.
Oh, please let us know, so we will be tuned in, and our audience will be tuned in as well. Are there any more questions, ladies?
I do have a question too. You know, you had mentioned the cruise ship and how that's a petri dish. What about when you're traveling to Europe or to another country, and you're on that plane for like maybe anywhere from 8 to 16 hours? What about that?
Well, I mean, that's the reality, and that goes back again. You can imagine the airplane is probably one of the worst situations because the distance is so small space. There is no distancing, i.e., are absolutely nasty. The magazines on airplanes are completely contaminated because 100,000 people touch them magazines, or even the tray that you use to feed yourself is infected. That's why you get on that airplane. I know that I get on the airplane, we're spraying the complete seat down with alcohol. We're spraying everything that even the headrest, because when you look on the airplanes, it is a very, very dangerous environment. If one person coughs on that airplane, everybody on the airplane is going to be infected probably within 2 minutes from the time the person coughed, because of the closed system. And that is why it's so important when you are getting on airplanes, you have to have that mask. Even though other people are not wearing that mask, I promise you, there's somebody on that airplane that's infected. They might be asymptomatic. So it's very important for you folks to make sure that you guys continue to create your own space, because other people get you killed.
That is so true. When I went to Ghana this summer, I was so paranoid. My neighbor, especially if you had someone sitting in that middle seat. So, I kept my mask on the whole time. And, I really encourage and public transportation, your buses, I live in DC. So, I catch the metro. And so those are other places that we have to be very, very careful, because thousands of people touch the same surfaces, handles, even going up the escalator every single day. So we really keep that hand sanitizer in your hands, and have a routine when you come in the house to take your shoes off or to spray your shoes, and have your hand sanitizer right there at the door. That's what I have. So I encourage people to do that, and make sure your guest does that.
Yeah, very important.
Hey, can I say something about, let's take a moment and just talk about germs.
Ooh.
I mean, look at money, dollar bills, coins that you have in your possession, that we don't even think about it. We touch it, we share it, we give it to somebody, and they're giving it back to you. Can you see the continuation of germs and that whole process of what we have to deal with?
Yeah, we've talked about this several years ago as money as a vector. Probably one of the biggest vector, and a vector is an inanimate object that can transfer a disease. It could be a bacteria, virus, whatever the case is. And money has always been notoriously a time-sensitive reflection of the society. The money is absolutely filthy. So you can imagine you guys going to McDonald's, going to drive-through, asking for a Happy Meal or a Big Mac. You get the change, you give the person the money, they give you the change back, and the first thing you folks do is put them French fries in your mouth. Your hands are contaminated. That's just a fact. Money, change at stores, etc., and markets. So you can imagine why the disease, and we talked about this 3 years ago, why the disease is where it is today. You can imagine in third world countries like Guyana, in Africa, in South America, and some of the countries I work in, you go to the local market and they got, sheep heads and pig heads and, meat out there with flies, and they're buying people buying 1 kilo of pig meat, and they're changing that money with no sanitation at all. And source of infection, it sustains the infection in that population. That is one of the hallmarks of what wet markets do. Wet markets are sometimes the driving forces for a pandemic, just because of the nature of the business, exchanging money.
Wow. Is there any diseases coming down that the doctor that you see that's coming? Anything that we need to know that's coming?
Well, I think the disease that you kind of heard about is that, in particular, polio is something that we need to really think about, because all the wastewater. And that is very important. Like I've said before, the wastewater or water that's in your sewage is a reflection of the health of the population. People all the time, Dr. Rowland, when is the pandemic going to go away? Well, the pandemic goes away when we do not see any viruses in our feces, i.e. the SARS-CoV virus, i.e. polio, i.e. HIV, i.e. monkeypox, i.e. influenza, i.e. RSV. This is our reality. And so the reality is that you understand that diseases are still there. And the reality is because of the sensitivity of trying to get good information, some of the diseases that are making a comeback, like syphilis, gonorrhea, that are resistant to these medications, antibiotics, HIV, resistant to some of the antiretroviral medication, is making a comeback because people are just not paying attention. People don't care. And that's why it's so important that folks need to make sure that they understand the environment, in particular when it comes to Black females in dense populations like Chicago, Atlanta, etc. These guys are coming out of prison and infecting you, the individual Black female, because they're bisexual. Whatever the case is, puts your life in jeopardy. And that's why when we look at the HIV rates in Black folks, Black males have succumbed past white males. That tells you we have a problem. And Black still the collateral damage because these men are coming out of prison. So you need to make sure that your daughters, whoever they're dating, you need to make sure you understand that individual sexual habit. For example, last week there's a 27-year-old rapper on television talking about she's got AIDS, which means she has 4 of 150. She's bragging about it, talking about her CD4 is going to go to 150 next month. She has AIDS, which is full-blown acquired immune deficiency syndrome. 27-year-old Black female. Where does she get that from? And she's talking to her boyfriend. So you have to be very careful now. And I have the same fear for my daughter, Jordan Rowling. You know, all these people after my daughter because who she is and stuff. I don't know what these Black dudes, where they've been, because people are kind of funny nowadays.
That's right. Got to protect our children. We have got to educate and protect our children. And everyone that's listening today, we want you to rebroadcast this in your home, have your children there and your off the whole family to watch this and to spread the word, because we have to protect our community. Most definitely. We have to protect our community. Well, Dr. Lane Rowling, you have done it again. We're so happy to see you again and giving us, sharing this information. Give us how do we contact you one more time? And are you on any of the news programs that we need to be watching?
No, not yet, but there's things coming up, and you guys will be reading about us, about especially with our HIV course that I'll be teaching at Jarvis University and the historical Black colleges, because we're introducing the HIV course nationally to get to understand HIV and stuff. And the reality is that people just follow me on Instagram or Facebook. I put out information every other day about what's going on in the world, real-time information about what's going on. Like we say in the reality in the military, boots on the ground will save your life. If you keep your head buried in the sand, you can get run over. And you can't get your head in the sand because diseases will get you sick. You can die. And there's always a possibility that with good information, we can prevent a lot of the tragedies that we've seen over the last several years.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Rowling. And we look forward to having you on again. It will be soon because we want to keep up. And if it's something that we need to know, let us know so we can hurry up and put you on.
And I want to say thanks for giving it to us straight with no chasing. That's what we need to know.
That's how we want.
He tells it like it is. He tells the truth.
Call us back, okay?
This is reality.
Yes.
We have to be our own stewards of our information to be able to guide us to the other side. And you guys are going to find out that the Faucis in the world were liars.
Yes. We found out.
They were censoring information that didn't fit their narrative. And now, it's amazing how you can get Fauci in front of the attorney generals in Louisiana, Missouri, and he's talking about 174 times he doesn't recall.
Check that.
Right. How about that? Yes.
You know the message. And so that has killed a lot of people. So you got to make sure you get the information from the right people and understand the science. The science is never going to lie. People do.
Thank
That's
you
right.
Say it
so
again.
much.
Say it again.
Hey,
Say it again.
great
Thank
way
you
to end
so
it.
much, Dr. Roland, and we will
Yeah.
see you the next time. Very,
Yeah.
very
Take
soon.
care.
God
Yeah,
bless
thank
you.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you.
Woo.
Wow.
Wow.
Rude
Tell
awakenings again.
the truth. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth. And we just
Whoa,
heard
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa,
truth.
whoa, whoa. The truth hurts.
Wow.
It's scary, but we need to be shocked into knowing exactly what's going on, and we need
Yeah,
to
and
spread the
Linda, and
word
I'm
to
so
our
thankful
families.
that we have someone like Dr. Lane.
Yeah, we're
that
blessed to
can
have
bring
him.
it to us.
Yes.
Like Kathy said, no chaser.
No
No.
change.
Give us the facts so we know what we're dealing with.
Right.
Mhm.
Keep you on the edge of your seat. That's where we need to be. On the edge. It's
Yeah.
like lean in because we
Yeah,
need.
and I hope a lot of people today, if they weren't here today, get the word to listen to the program that we had today. It was
Yes.
very informative, and people
Yes.
need to know.
And people need to
Well-
know that they can go back to 4 Sisters Live
Yes.
page on Facebook, or they even check it out on YouTube. So you got
Okay.
options, my sisters.
Yes,
Yes.
sisters and brothers, and boys and girls. We
Boys
want
and
you
girls.
to. We
Yeah.
want you to listen to us. Well, ladies, it's been an awesome show. I thank all of you,
Very informative.
our guest hosts, for coming in. And
Yes,
shout
thank
out
you,
to
Sharon, and
Wyoming
thank you,
and
Kathy.
Charlene. We miss
My
you.
pleasure.
They're out on the road working like they always like that. What
Yeah.
they do, they doing what they do. So
Yeah.
we say
We miss them.
and we thank our technical person, Miss Cynthia.
Cynthia
And
Kelly, thank you,
yes,
Cyn.
thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Cynthia.
And so I just want to know, what time is it, ladies?
It's time
It's
for
time for you
So
walk
to
in
walk
your
in your
purpose
purpose and
prosperity.
prosperity.
all right, see you next week, everybody.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
see ya. Thanks for having me. Loved it.
Love
We
you
love
guys.
Love
Love
you.
you
Bye-bye.
too.
Take
Love
care,
you all
everyone.
too.